Uh, I didn't expect you to do that for me. But thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gary's Mod. And that threw my game off a little bit, so the intro's a little different than usual, but you get the idea. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is VP Void Mall. A sequel to two maps which I played before, and some of my favorites ever in this game. That's GM Void Spaces and GM Old Spaces. Now those were absolutely huge. I'm talking gigantic, sprawling liminal space maps. And it seems like this is going to be a new take on that. This time going for kind of an 80s, like, neon mall setting. Nowhere Mall. Well, that sure is what it feels like. Look, if we look up through the skylight, we can even see those neon lights, like, casting through the clouds. Or rather, the fog that seems to be setting over the night sky over this place. The timing of this release is actually perfect, because I've kind of made something of a pledge to myself to try and get back into more GMOD VR exploration content in 2024. It's something that's just kind of fallen by the wayside, because I just have so many suggestions to get through. But speaking of falling by the wayside, well, I don't know where to start in a map like this. Look at that. We've got different colored neon lights going in all different directions. This feels like going to see the wizard in Wizard of Oz. So I guess the only thing we can do is pick a direction and go. And we might as well start with the most inviting one, right? These escalators have stopped working. Now, this is weird because it's nostalgia for an era that I have no idea if it ever existed. Honestly, my only frame of reference for this is the mall from GTA Vice City. Hello, sounds of ambient machinery grinding to life in the walls. Nice of you to join us. Although the dead silence of before makes your arrival somewhat unexpected. But as I was saying, this whole place, it's weird. It's like, it's something I'm nostalgic for, despite the fact that I've never really seen it, and I'm not even sure if it really existed, which is a very strange state to be in. All the shelves are mostly cleared. You know, it sort of reminds me of, when I was very little, like 2 or 3 years old, I would always hear about people going to the city. They gotta go do something in the city. You gotta check out this thing in the city. And they would describe it, and I would sort of form my own picture of what the city was. And one day my grandma took me for a walk, and around the block there was this, like, rich guy's house on the water, huge stone building with a huge glass facade, and, like, lion statues in front. And I always thought, this must be the city. This is kind of like having that feeling all over again. Like I had some image of something in my head, despite having no frame of reference for what that thing would actually be. And it feels like whatever it is, this must be it. This is weird. It's like a showroom for something that isn't here. No signal on any of the screens. Okay, we'll start getting into the nitty-gritty details of the shops, but look at that. Already, we're starting to get some of that liminal weirdness. The shop itself is almost a hallway, just connecting more hallways. One thing you can always count on for malls is that the stores are these little cutouts within the walls. But it's really weird when they don't function that way. Whoa, this is super cool looking. Look at this. This is so detailed. Oh, there's some music playing. I'm going to imagine that that's almost certainly copyrighted, and I'm gonna have to mute it, but, it's really weird how it starts to play the second I step into this atrium. The way you can hear it, like, echoing off these empty tiled walls and corridors. It's almost like it was waiting for me, like the space has been abandoned for so long and it's desperately trying to get me to stay, or maybe that there's someone else here who saw me come in and wants to get my attention. Hi. Are those arms extended in a where's my hug fashion, or are they extended in more of a what gives fashion? Your smile sort of says it could be either. What do you... And just like that, it's gone. The way it, like, scratches and has that feedback and then immediately goes away, it's like somebody's taken their ball and going home. Like, they were excited to see me, but now I've perhaps offended them in some way. This is so weird. So right off the bat, it's making me feel simultaneously like this place is alive, or that this place is dead as dead gets, but there's someone in here with me. Dude, I don't even know where to start, but this is architecturally just beautiful to look at. It's like an alien spaceship, but then again, that's the vibe some of these places went with for a while. It's like the precursor to those, like, padded 90s play areas that you'd see at, like, McDonald's or something. I see we found the food court. But no one to be found. I love the addition of these skylights, because not only do they draw the eye upward, which a lot of maps don't really have features to do that for. I think on a map like this, when you make it clear that it is nighttime, it sort of puts you in the mindset of, like, staying late after work or school, you know? You're super drowsy, but you've still got some things to do, everyone else has gone home, and you almost feel like time has moved on without you. Not to mention, it makes it feel like you don't even know what sort of dark, dangerous setting you'd be in if you were to get out of here, so even though you feel trapped, you also simultaneously feel like it's your safety bubble. A really big safety bubble that could contain someone else and you don't really feel very safe in at all, but still better than out there. It's so cool how such a simple feature can sort of recall things and associations and sort of set the mood for the map in an indirect way. And not to mention, I am glad that it's doing so much with verticality, because there is so much to see when we look up. Look, we've got those tiles with the daylight sky all around. All these things that were supposed to make it feel like outdoor dining really just make it sit pretty deep in the uncanny valley. Now I'm wondering if I should start trying some of these side areas, or if maybe I should map out all these large spaces before I do that, but then again, it seems like this is all pretty multi-leveled. And quite a bit darker down there. I don't know, I'm not sure how to tackle that, because that's not very common for malls where I live. Of course, this is locked, which means it was probably an exit. Alright, well, let's see if we can at least get some food, huh? Our first truly dark space. Not one shred of equipment left behind, and wow, the fact that we've moved into a flashlight somehow feels like, well, I don't know how it feels. It feels like we've peeked beyond the facade. Then again, all malls are kind of one giant facade, aren't they? There's the public-facing area, you know, all the music is playing, and the booths are out, and the storefronts, but you know there's a whole infrastructure running just behind it, and it sort of creeps you out. Sort of creeps you out to make you wonder what's going on back there. About 10 years ago, I was with my cousin upstate, and we decided, it was very late at night, like 11 o'clock, and we decided to walk across the street to this mall. And we walk up to it, and we're opening the doors, we walk around, there's absolutely nobody there, completely deserted. It didn't really feel like we were supposed to be there, but nobody was stopping us. And just off in the distance, echoing from somewhere in the mall, we just hear a loud scream. He was actually recording at the time, but it's very, very hard to hear it, even with the audio boosted. And we looked around and we couldn't find anything. We actually had a hard time getting out because all the doors were locked. But eventually we found one that was open and just got out of there. There was just this one van in the parking lot. But obviously we didn't stick around to try and figure out who it was. Alright, let's go. No, this isn't gonna open either. Not even gonna play a sound. And up there looks just as dark as down below. Is this the designated night guest area? Alright, I'm going to continue following these large hallways to at least get an idea for the layout of this floor. You know, in a place as sterile and clean as this, the one tennis ball left sitting in the middle of the floor feels like it speaks volumes, doesn't it? Hang on, is that a physics object? It's not going to be a physics object. Oh, it actually is! Wow! Hang on, how does it behave? Not very much like a tennis ball. Alright, well, you are coming with us. You are kind of our only friend in the world right now. Come on now. Yep. There we go. Now, let's start having a look around. Oh, right, I can't open doors while I'm holding something. Never mind, you wait here. I'm not sure what's weirder. The sound of machinery grinding in the walls, or the slow, calm sound of the water lapping at the edges. The other one at least filled out the space more. This is more calming, but also serves to, I don't know, feel like it's easing me into a false sense of security. Like any moment, I'm going to hear some irregular sound in the water, and I'm going to turn to see a head disappear just below the waves. You know, there's so much light actually reflecting back at me that I do wonder just how deep these pools will actually be. And there's such disconnect because the room looks exactly like where you'd find these things, tiled floors and walls, but the fact that it's in a mall just makes it seem like something that would never exist. Okay, unfortunately we are going to have to dive into each of these to try and figure out what's what. Okay, this one is normal depth. Yeah. It's kind of weird that they all have the same depth throughout and not a slope. And this one's a bit shallower than the others. Okay, they didn't pull the ultra deep end trick. Okay, this is becoming kind of a theme. Bright blue skies saturated with clouds just adorning every surface. But this is not a bright sunny day that we're walking into. And we're not walking into anything because these doors are not opening. Understandable. Oh, and if we turn around, yet another instance of the Nowhere Mall. Kind of funny how this mall names itself all over, and yet I don't think we've seen a single label above a shop. It's almost like this mall exists to be a mall and not to house those shops. This is so cool. So presumably this would go to like the locker rooms and such, right? But you've got this hallway you can walk down, getting a preview. You can see what's going on outside as you walk towards it, or others can see who's coming out and ready to join the party. I can't tell if the lights just flickered a bit. It sort of looked like they dimmed for just a moment. Now for this video, I have turned on post-processing effects in GMOD VR's settings. which has never been the case before, but I figured this would be a very lighting-heavy map, and I have noticed that it tends to show up differently in recording from how I see it, so maybe that'll make a change. Oh no, let's do the same thing again next door. Is it a little bit darker over here? No, but I think we found the source of the rumble. Oh, wait, somebody's listening to music again. Well, sorry, we're closed. You're gonna have to go home. Or is it just playing over the intercom again and... No, it's definitely playing from this speaker. Why would there be speakers just above the urinals? Okay, well, let's get out of here, because that's really freaking me out. And it fades out, so it was playing from there. It's not just the building sporadically blasting that to me. That would be really terrible, because it would make me feel like I'm an iguana or something in a tank that has like a day-night cycle on its light. Okay, here's more locker rooms right here. But the doors are locked. Can't get in at all. And it's really weird that you enter them on the opposite side. Wait, actually, I can see over there what looks like some kind of back area, like a red light from an exit sign and a chain metal fence. Wait, can we get over there? Also, what is with this random spot of brick in the wall? It looks carved out from the rest. Well, it doesn't seem like we can do anything with it. Oh, these doors are locked as well. But I can definitely see back there from here. Wait. Oh, I see. At one point, that would have been a window where reception can look back into the pools. I wonder why that avenue would be sealed up. Actually, that is so weird. Look, if we look out this skylight, it's like it's all boarded up. Like we're seeing the back of a wall or something. Is the same true for the other ones? Yes. Oh, but not this one. With this one, we can look up and see the very non-mall-like building that's above it. That is so weird. It's like this thing is just like planted right at street level in the middle of a city. Yes, those are streetlights up above. It's like this whole thing is implanted in the ground, but look. So what we're seeing, or what we saw before, wasn't the neon light dissipating in the fog. It's like there's a neon pink sun staring down at us. Something which just doesn't cast a glow over the rest of the atmosphere, if there is an atmosphere. But we can at least leave the pool rooms. Now, if my sense of direction is correct, going down that dark, creepy sloped hallway should get us back to where we started. And this takes us out through here. Alright, hang on. I'm just gonna try and get my bearings here, because I think by exploring more ways... You're not gonna open. I think by exploring more avenues, I can more quickly get a better picture of where I'm going, and that'll help me plan my route. I have learned nothing. Except that it's better to go with the flow in situations like this. It really feels like I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be. And like somebody's watching me do it. Like they're just waiting for me to trap myself. Oh, we're up on the next level now. Oh, we can see out windows right here. And they just look down into the hallways beside. I have a real strong like of interior windows and architecture, but this is really weird. Something about this angle, something about the perspective of someone walking down there and having no idea I'm staring down. Somehow it makes me feel, even though I'm here, like I'm in the role of the person doing that. Like we're positioned just in such the right way where they probably won't look up and see us. And from here we can open it up. I wonder if some of these doors can only be opened from the back side. But yes, we've, or actually I'm not sure if we've been through here. Yeah, no, we went down that way. That's how we got to the food court. Okay, I'm starting to get an idea of this, and before we explore the rest of that hallway, I'm gonna come over here. Yes, we can get in here, leap up and over you. Here we are. Now, my big question is going to be what's behind that door right there with the red light over it. But we're also going to want to answer the question, yes, these doors can be opened, but we need to get to them from the right side. So, okay, so what does that tell us? That tells us that there is some guidance to the order of how this map wants to be experienced. We might be in for a little bit more than just a scenic ride. Okay, well, we're obviously going to want to open as many of these things as we possibly can. Open the back doors to shops, not only because it'll grant us accessibility, but because it'll enable us to see where we have and haven't been. These doors are our breadcrumb trail, assuming they don't close on a timer. Yeah, we saw this grass pond earlier. But why the red light above this one? Because it looks like it just goes on to a normal shop. That's so weird. So what's so special about this one? Even in the back, where all of this is supposed to be the non-public facing stuff, the lighting still feels so dim neon, you know? All these different contrasting colors that cross each other's path. The way the red glow from below not only comes up through the grates, but illuminates the railings. That light says exit, but I kind of doubt it, to be honest. It's almost like a parallel world to what's above. In these liminal space maps that seem like some public area, I always think of these back areas as like the forbidden fruit, you know? Like, sure, there's these tantalizing, tempting areas just out of view, but look at all this nice stuff. Doesn't it look great? All that can be yours, but you just have to promise never to peek behind the curtain. And we are doing quite a lot of peeking today, aren't we? If anything, it drives your desire to explore, but it also makes you wonder just what the punishment will be. Now, if we are on the lower floor, then this is going to be darker and more overtly abandoned. So I think we'll probably try and save this for last. This door is already propped open. Look at that. That big bright sign taking up the entire wall. And just one unassuming little door in the bottom left. And back here is almost completely dark. You know, that's what I figured. But there is another door here. And that comes to here. Alright, see, this is the value of having doors open, because those are open, so now I can tell that this is the same place from before, and we can continue our travels. Look at this. We head into the back rooms of a mall, and suddenly it's like we're boarding an airplane or something. We haven't heard that music in quite a while. But these computers are on still displaying a desktop with nothing but black icons. Okay, from here we can hear that music again, but if we hop over this counter, this side has the walls torn down and leading... Oh, I thought there was going to be like a back hallway here. This place just feels intuitively like it would be the remains of a Blockbuster or something. No, now you're playing through here, so it's weird. It's like just once in a while I'll find some place that's playing music, and just as quickly as it started, it's over. Oh my. Okay, I guess we found the storage warehouse. It's weird how every place here feels threatening, but some places feel threatening in different ways than others. So, like, the back hallways makes it feel like somebody's gonna find me and I'll get in trouble, even if finding someone would actually be something of a relief here. Being back here makes it feel like I'm in danger of being crushed by some kind of machinery. Hang on. Okay, so the thought that somebody's here with me has never been stronger. You didn't have to imbue me with that thought when I'm in these giant dark hallways. Oh, wait. Hang on, we've got to check out you, but first... I have to try interacting with it. Why do I feel like I've just gotten something's attention?
This is a pre-recorded announcement. Attention. In case of non-Euclidean temporal anomalies, under any circumstances, I repeat, under any circumstances, do not interact, enter, or explore any doors, windows, or rooms that may be materialized in your home. If you notice non-Euclidean anomalies in your area, leave immediately and call the authorities. Do not explore any unfamiliar environment that does not exist in your residence. Remember, there in the sky, that's not the sun.
So that's horrifying. Are you implying that we stepped into here from our own home? Does putting on a VR headset count? That is so creepy, and it just ironically echoes down the hall, a message we can only possibly hear if it's already far too late. And now when we get the first clearest view at what's actually going on here, there's also just something so unnerving hearing something delivered in the cadence of an emergency alert or public service announcement describing some horrifying, mind-melting threat, almost as if it's the same as learning to cross the road or not talk to strangers. And look, now we're actually walking up on the surface, something I did not think we'd get the opportunity to do. Hearing the birds somehow raises more questions than it answers. I just realized that we're now on level with those skylights. But as I was saying, I think I only realized this recently when my sister showed me the first couple parts of the Mandela catalog. That there is a real horror in seeing something like, say, a doppelganger or some sort of temporal distortion being discussed in that dry public service announcement tone. Like it's just something we have to deal with. But then I realized that, well, I suppose in a reality where we don't have to deal with some of the things humans really do, some of the announcements we put up would probably be pretty horrifying as well. Defamiliarization is one of my favorite practices ever, where you describe something that is commonplace and familiar in very strange and alien terms we can't get out this way. And it makes you realize just how bizarre our reality actually is. I mean, it's just like I always say when talking about cryptids. If we were to capture a Bigfoot, it would be big news for a while, but eventually we'd give it a name and we'd put it in a zoo, and the fact of its unknown and legendary status would just become a fun fact on the plaque. But as it stands, what is an elephant if not a giant monster? You hear that? There's like a weird electronic wibbly noise coming from behind this door. I can't open any of these. It is completely pitch black in here, and it feels a lot like we're getting closer to something. There's no ambient sound whatsoever, except for whatever that is that we're getting closer to. And it's not going to let us out either. See, it's weird. This is simultaneously combining ideas of true mishmashed randomness and absolute hostility. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say mishmashed randomness. I think that's reductive to what the map's doing here. It feels like this place has been transported wholesale. Tell you what, this is the first chance we've really had to explore the upper level. So, if the doors will let us, let's do that. And there's that again. This area is actually fairly cozy. The way the glow from those lights on the pillar sort of dissolves across the room, casting shadows from the metal beams and pillars. Actually feels nice, and if we close those doors in real life, it would probably have a muffling effect on the music. Imagine just sitting up here in the dark with your little chair besides the window, watching passersby silently go by beneath. Oh, it took me a second actually to make sense of what I was seeing. Hey there, you seem fun? You also have murder in your eyes, so I can only imagine how tense an interaction with you would be. Maybe if we interact with you on your level, you're still doing that thing with your arms. That thing that I'm not sure if you're asking for a hug or if you're asking me what I'm still doing here. I'm trying to leave, I swear, but until the weather conditions clear up, I think it's going to be a little while. See, this is what I'm talking about. It makes it really hard to comply with your requests when things are this way. Making a real point to show me that there is no food to be had anywhere, huh? Wait, anomalous area, void space ahead. It's almost like they know. Actually, if we do go with the idea that we entered this place out of curiosity after seeing a door just appear in our home that wasn't there before, well, maybe this place is actually consistent, and the only thing that changes is the location of the entrance. Two themes which have been present all throughout the map. Sky, simulated exteriors, and also screens. Screens in various states of connection, but I guess the clouds are the image they're all trying to form. And there is yet another scribbling. Our sky, but perhaps with a depiction of the not a sun. I'm starting to think there's maybe deep lore to this, Matt. I can't tell if that's like ventilation or breathing. But it's getting louder the deeper I go. Okay, well, that was the lamp's time to shine. Bearing in mind that this was the place they warned us not to enter. It's a couch all sunken into the ground, perhaps. Perhaps watching TV was the trigger. Just on my couch at 3 in the morning, watching whatever infomercials are coming on, and something about that enables that doorway into this reality. Can we interact with you? What did that do? I can still hear, like, weird sounds. We can still get back that way. It sounded like a door opening or closing or locking. Nothing to do with you. No exit is ever an exit on these maps. I really feel like I screwed up bad. Okay, well, now I'm going to question whether I could have opened a whole bunch of you. Don't worry, we will be doing a no-clip run at the end of this. Now I get it. Your arms are splayed out in a gesture of, what did you expect? Yeah, don't try and play me another song. You're not going to make me feel any better. Listen to the way that echoes through the place. Look, I know that this whole vibe of music echoing through a mall when it's empty has gotten a lot of attention recently, unlike this figure here. But when it seems to be so directed, when it seems to be so targeted, it doesn't seem randomly triggered, it's always after some discovery. Maybe if I can get it to play enough times, we'll learn something new. Ah yes, the Skynasium. Now, as far as I know, this upper floor is almost entirely unexplored, so if we look around here, it should be largely new territory, except for the fact that this is where we entered. But we're working our way through it, it's just that nothing is the way I think it is. Look at that, right from the very beginning we could have gotten the idea that something's not right. Actually, I'm trying to think of how this place could be experienced differently depending on the path we take. Because that's kind of interesting. It blocks us off in some ways, but we could get these events in different orders. Oddly enough, it's felt like a pretty curated experience so far rather than just mindless wandering, even if it is mindless wandering. If we only take it up until this point and decide to turn back, or we look down and head through the doorway here, we'll just see a sodium vapor lamp in a regular night street. Move a few feet to the right and suddenly it's a very different world we're looking out at. Wait, what is that? Jimmy was here. Is that your name? Wow. It's almost like there's multiple competing entities here. Or maybe those entities are just personifications of the world itself. I don't know, but Jimmy is what we'll call the Black Scribbles from now on. That thing we've seen marked on the wall with the red something on its face. And then it's like there's some other body, like almost an authority figure, that's trying to warn people about this place, that tries to keep this thing contained. Or maybe I'm just going nuts trying to make sense of this, I don't know. Okay, so if we can get in through here... There's another one of those sealed up, actually boxed in skylights. No, there's no door back here. No, you. Door over. I'm really expecting a jump scare at some point, and that thing just delivered a mini one. What are you, a garbage can? Some kind of, oh, a file cabinet. Locked. There's just no getting back here. There must be some ultra-specific way. And you more feel like a representation of the mall itself. The mall is the place, Jimmy is the entity, and there's some body overseeing all of this, trying to enforce some kind of order. Alright, maybe we can get there by taking the non-warning sign infested area. Yeah, maybe this would be a good idea. There we are. Would have been a lot less jump scared if we had seen you from this angle. Then again, maybe not. There's actually so much. Alright, open you. Opening doors is the one thing that gives me purpose right now. I have to say, if I weren't speaking to an audience and trying to analyze things while I played these maps, I think I would have a much harder time with these. It's crazy how this map, and also Void Spaces and Old Spaces, have managed to create this atmosphere where you simultaneously feel constantly watched and utterly alone. Okay, laugh it up. You got outside and I didn't. And this is where we go. Does this just go back into that room we were in before? It does. I don't even want to think about what made that noise. And I especially don't want to think about whether it might be in here with me. Okay, down here takes us back to the food court, right? Yes, okay. But even though nothing much has physically, materially changed for us, you probably notice I'm picking up the pace. I feel like I'm on some kind of clock ever since I turned off that TV. I do think that a big part of liminal spaces, and especially malls, is the feeling that it's almost a dream having the run of such a cool, huge place. But you always get the impression that there's somebody somewhere. And I think with malls in particular, that feeling is exacerbated by knowing that there's probably somebody in a security room somewhere, watching you on all the cameras, but such a place would be so buried in the back of these things, all the complex networks of tunnels and walkways that you know are back there, that the likelihood of you ever finding them is so low. Okay, we've been back here before. We can get back here. You know, with how mostly sterile the rest of this place seems, it's really weird when you see something that looks more or less like it's under construction or renovation. It's like I said when we found the tennis ball, anytime you introduce the most minor of imperfections, it really stands out. Wait, this looks familiar. Have we been through here before? Why are the doors closed? It's just construction area after construction area. But we're out again. All right, I think we're quickly reaching the point where we're gonna have to go downstairs. Oh wait, there's a window over here. Oh. A window parallel with the skylights. That's kind of cool. So we could be up here and through several layers of glass watch someone walk down. Imagine if we were here and we just saw a shadow figure moving across. Imagine being in this situation and just occasionally catching glimpses of someone, but they never respond when you call out. They never... You never get a good look at them. You feel the need to find someone to share this experience with, but you start to increasingly wonder whether you even want to get their attention. Yeah, I think we never went this way. And once more, I can hear that weird, like, throaty breathing through the vents. Why, hallway, how narrow and tall you are. Why would that be a thing? All the better to deliver us back to square one, my dear. You know, I often talk about how, when I play these maps, I feel like I've been in them for hours. I completely lose track of the time. And it's often a surprise when I take the headset off at the end of all of this and check the record time. Well, this is certainly no exception. I mean, it's almost like it's all I know at this point, but to add to that, I woke up and started recording this, but because my sleep schedule has been all over the place, I actually have no idea what time of day it is. It's a real sort of unique blend of the movie theater effect, where I have no idea if it's like 11 p.m. or 3 in the morning or noon. But little as I want to, we really do have to make our way downstairs now. Actually, wait, have we been... Okay, so this is the hallway leading by the locker rooms. So then if we come back this way. I'm just trying to get, like, a... Hello? Tennis ball? Tennis ball? Are you a different tennis ball? Or, wait... Didn't I leave you by that door that I tried to open? I could have sworn I left you, like, right here. How did you make your way all the way back over to this corner? That's... Okay, you're sticking with me for a while. I really don't want to go down here. Even though the map itself hasn't actually done anything to do this, I've sort of hyped up in my head the lower floor to be almost the belly of the beast. The map wasn't hyping it up, but you know, it sort of is now. Locked. Okay. Nope. Where do you think you're going? You're not getting out of this that easy. Come on, would you do it for a Scooby snack? I'd do it for a Scooby snack. I'd do about anything for a Scooby snack. Have you had those things? They're amazing. To choose between the light or the safety Glock. Yes, intercom? Quiet you, we're going through here. Ah, it's actually kind of following me now. Hello, ominous office chair, looking like Jimmy's gonna swivel around in it and be like, I've been expecting you. But Jimmy's not gonna do that, because Jimmy knows subtlety. Alright, tennis ball, you might actually have to wait here now, because now's where we're gonna start opening a lot of doors. I'm not even gonna bother to mess with that. It's like a hospital waiting area. Yep, downstairs definitely has a unique vibe. And I feel like I'm supposed to interact with all bees. That's not the imagery I typically associate with your chosen descriptor. Which makes this feel all the more like a trap! That's what I thought! I don't know what to do or where to go. So much open space, so many corners, so many open doors. And like a black sludge seeping out from beneath you. There's nothing we can do but take this piece by piece. The lights are out here as well. Alright, let's go. Let's go. We are much more into the overt horror territory. And if there was any doubt before, we definitely have their attention now. Hey, mind if I join you? Watching the tube? Okay, we can open this. Nothing here. Please tell me this goes back onto the hallway that we started from. It does not. Wait, what's back here then? There were a couple of doors. Intercom starting up again. Wait. Hang on. This looks like the room we peeked through the doors when we first got down to this lower floor. Only this is like boarded now. Wasn't there another eye painted on the wall, or is this just an identical room? Hi there. No, because this is it. Two of the same room, essentially copy-pasted side by side, or at least very similar. All of it emanates from you. All of it was coming from here. Only you look far less cheerful this time around. I truly have nothing to say. Look, that's completely dark outside, but it's not just night. It's like the darkness itself is compressing around the skylights, like it's gonna crush and shatter it like an egg at any time. This is glowing neon, just like the strips of light around the poles. We will watch you forever. Are you all working together? Maybe some questions are better left unanswered. Or maybe we'll find ourselves approaching from a different angle soon enough. Can we open the door from this side? But yeah, I definitely get the impression two distinct entities. But like I was saying, Jimmy, as we've come to call it, just feels like something that's within the mall. The girl feels more like a representation of the building itself, especially since she seemingly speaks through the intercom. Alright, well, now that we've made our way back here, we can start to check some of these sideways. Tennis ball, where did you get off to? It absconded. That is so... What is going on with this tennis ball? Because that is not just physics. That's not just you rolling away on your own. There's something really bizarre going on here, and I really do wonder what's going on off screen. Back into these stores. Wait, we have been here. We came out here before. I guess this time we just had the right approach for all the horror to begin. Was that always like that? No, that's a new thing. That's a new development. You weren't doing that a moment ago. Okay, so something has happened. Look at the way that shadow casts across the room in the red glow. I can't do anything to actually turn you off, but you're playing the same music as the intercom. Okay, maybe there's nothing I can do with you. Maybe I just don't want to stick around. Maybe that's just the effect it's having on me. Dude, it's crazy how hostile this map is able to make itself feel. All while not really doing that much to me. Run. Is that tennis ball back here? It is not, so that completely eliminates the idea that it just resets at a certain point. It is somewhere. Like, I can just slide in here and regroup and gather my thoughts. Like, this is the relatively safe area. But I just can't think of anything that I might have missed. Hang on, there's a closed set of doors down here. But it's another way back into the pools. Alright, then, I don't know. We've got a couple of bathrooms here. Hi. I wasn't really expecting that, but my thoughts are elsewhere. If I wasn't already on edge, I probably would have been jump scared by that. What about the other one? No. Am I able to open you again? I don't think I even noticed you before. I think I was too busy with this, but... No, we cannot seem to turn this TV back on. But they're definitely related to you. Always in close proximity to you. And of course, no luck here. That's so weird. I'm just running around looking for what to do, and there's like a whole store that's only accessible from the back rooms. Ah, that's so uncomfortable. It's almost like a store is hiding out in a place for stores. But this is just over here, so this is all stuff we've definitely seen before. Although there are some doors to be open. Oh, look at this. And it's like a manager's office, a place where you can just sit in the shadows and watch people go by. There are so many times where I could have missed, like, figures just standing around.
If you want to leave that bag, go ahead. The key is in the bathroom.
Okay, maybe I should have been listening to this the entire time. I was caught off guard by how the beginning of that sounded different from the others. Alright, the key is in the bathroom. We've encountered a couple of bathrooms, but okay, if I'm correct, then maybe I should have stayed to listen to the rest of that. Wait until it stopped, but which bathrooms? There were some smaller ones with the actual mirrors. And then there were these right here. I just tried to go through that, like, other void warning again. Anything here in the sinks? No. It'll probably be someplace that I missed them before, right? I'm gonna check each of the urinals. Maybe we have to reach our hand down the pipe like we're James Sunderland or something. That is so weird to have us, like, actually communicate directly to us in that way. There we go! I don't think this was here before. I feel like I would have noticed this.
Oh, if you want to leave that bag, go ahead.
Leave that bag. Are you sad that I'm leaving you? Is that what you're talking about? That is so sad. Hang on, I'm gonna go back and revisit the other instances where you appear. But I'm starting to think I am right. That you are this place personified. That you're lonely. That maybe you represent a place that did exist at one point in time. That is both creepy and terribly sad, but it sort of goes into some of the observations I've had about liminal spaces recently. And actually, sort of one interpretation of Cane Pixel's The Oldest View. Yeah, the same is true here as well. So maybe we will always watch you. Maybe that's not a threat. Maybe that's a promise. In a place where being watched, where being recognized is considered valuable.
Don't need no company. Got my headphones on, rocking to the beat. I'm walking down the street with my head up high, but you keep bugging me. Can't take no more lies. Ooh, yeah, leave me alone. Go away, leave me alone. Go away, leave me alone. Go away, leave me alone. Go away.
Are you sure?
Oh, if you want to leave that bag, go ahead.
Is that for me or for yourself? God, how did this map make me feel so bad for it? But now I believe the time has come. And I think this is going to be where that key takes us. No. No, so what is the key for? Maybe leaving isn't good for us either. It's so weird to have a liminal space that we get trapped in and that seemingly willingly relinquishes us. Reluctantly. The pacing of this map is so crazy where, it starts off and it's cozy yet vaguely unnerving in that sort of sleepwalking sort of mood. And then things get darker. It introduces Jimmy. It introduces the idea that this place has some kind of like malevolent hostility. And then it feels like it just doesn't want us to leave. Oh. Okay, no, maybe we're not done yet. Maybe we're not done yet. Maybe... Maybe it's the key to this. Yep. False hope. That's all that daylight exit is false hope. Okay, so I've had a look on the workshop page, and that does seem to be the end for now. However, there's something really, really interesting here. See, apparently, when you try to do this, if you look at the console, and I've just confirmed this, you can see that it's trying to load a map that does not exist, called, hang on, let me take a look. VP Down Corridors. So it seems that we're parting on somewhat poor terms, and eventually this will lead to another map. So if so, that is really, really cool, and it suggests that there's going to be even more of a story to be told here. I guess we'll do our no-clip run now, as good a time as any. She is not happy about our parting, but closing thoughts, this was amazing, and definitely my favorite of the three so far. And that's really saying something, because the other two are some of my favorite Garry's Mod explorations of all time. It's crazy how, even despite never interacting with any physical characters, it almost feels as if we have. It's putting a face to the location without directly spoiling it by having another presence here, at least having us not be sure that there's another presence here. And you just feel it more and more the more you progress. It feels like you're being spoken to even before you're being spoken to directly. I've got to go back and listen to some of the songs that played when we first arrived, because I'm sure there was communication there as well. And there's just something about the way that it tells its story, where you have these potentially multiple entities that might be one and the same, or might be separate, or might be working together, or might be, again, separate from each other. And the idea of establishing how we may have gotten here, that makes it feel so much more real and more consequential than other liminal exploration maps. It doesn't feel like it exists in a vacuum, and I suppose when more maps are completed, it won't. I also read on the workshop that there is potentially actually a Jimmy entity, not just the one that we've been seeing scrawled on the walls, and, well, I didn't see anything like that, but come to think of it, there have been a couple of times where I thought I may have seen like a silhouette through a window or some sort of movement, so now I'm going to be like poring over the footage as I edit this, I think. It's honestly crazy, the roller coaster of emotions you go through while exploring this place. While most liminal space maps do just kind of move back and forth between eerie and outright terrifying, this one manages to run from eerie to terrifying to actually feeling pity for the liminal location we're trapped within. Existential dread, the feeling that we're a part of something greater, almost throwing like cosmic horror into the mix with that PSA that we heard earlier. Actually, from what we learned, it's almost as if the girl was telling us, hey, look, I know you're freaked out here, but you really don't want to leave. That you're safer here, that we'll watch you, that we'll watch over you forever. And even though it seems like we've already made our choice, and to be honest, with how gorgeous this map looks, having a 1980s haunted liminal mall GF doesn't really seem like the worst of fates. But if you have a look at the workshop page, which I highly recommend you do after exploring this map for yourself, you can see the creator talking about some of like the secrets that are here and some of the backstory and history of what went into making it and some of the characters that are present, and it's really, really interesting. I was super shocked because it feels like I've been on a whole journey. I was really surprised to see that I've been recording for only a little more than an hour and a half, but well, I guess that's the way of these things. Time is compressed here. But now I'm really curious to have a no-clip run, and I'm not even going to start by flying outside the map like I usually do. I want to know what's going on behind some of those 3D doors that we could not access. Ooh. Anything back here? Oh, there is actually an exit. Oh, wait, no. This is... Huh. Okay, so I guess I just never got around to this. Oh, no, it doesn't unlock. Alright, so we did see this. We did get back here. Okay, then, so... What happens if we try no-clipping through this exit? Nothing. It's just a ruse. It was always just a ruse. It was kind of making me wonder if there weren't, like, multiple endings. Okay, so let's pull back and have a look. Wow. I mean, that's not performing the best, but can you blame it? Look at how complex this is. I've always appreciated games and maps that are able to tell their story all while just letting you wander freely. And this does an amazing job of that. Let's see if we can get outside with Jimmy. Is there any reason why we'd want to do that? Yep. Oh, out here is above the pool rooms. But from the look of it, we were not supposed to be able to get here. And beneath a sun that's not a sun, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. If she allows me to interact with other friends, she kind of seems like the type that might have issues with that.